Hey y'all, and welcome to Politi-Brawl. My name is Brian, and Tucker Carlson just drops a nuke on this ridiculous reporter for asking perhaps the dumbest possible question in the dumbest possible way.
The whole point of your question was to be like, you're a scary racist.
Well, I haven't
And
actually
my
finished my
response is, no,
question.
I'm not. Okay, well, how about no more lying in your questions, and then I'll answer it.
Okay, well, this is the same theory, or as you say, idea, that has inspired the New York Buffalo shooting where 11 black Americans were killed.
Come on.
Two
You know
white
what I mean?
Americans were killed.
Like,
and it's also
okay,
inspired...
it's not, first of all...
It's inspired one of the worst Australian guns
How do
of
they
all
get
time
people
to
this
shoot
stupid in the media? I guess it doesn't pay well. Look, I'm sorry. I've lived among people like you for too long, and I don't mean to call you stupid. Maybe you're just pretending to be, but I'm totally against violence. I'm totally against the war in Ukraine, for example, which doubtless you support. And like all dutiful liberals, support more carnage. I don't. I hate mass shootings, actually. Nothing I said, what does it mean to inspire something? My views are not bigoted against any group. They're honest. They're factual. That's not hate. That's reality. And my views derive from my deep concern for Americans, actually. Americans aren't having kids because they can't afford to. And nobody in charge cares. And so that's my position. That doesn't inspire mass shootings. How dare you try to tie me to some lunatic who murdered people? How dare you, actually? And in fact, I mean, do you know what I mean? I'd be like, Hitler wore those shoes. A lot of people are saying that you're like Hitler. Can you explain those shoes? Hitler wore exactly the same shoes, and you're like, I've got nothing to do with Hitler. Well, that's how I feel about your absurd, disingenuous question.
Right, so therefore you support gun control?
What? I thought it couldn't
want
get
any more
dumber, but it
shootings?
did. No, I don't support disarming law-abiding people so they can't defend themselves. So the government has a monopoly on violence? I don't think so. First of all, in my country, that's illegal, as you know. But moreover, it should be illegal in every country. A sovereign person has the right to defend himself and his family. Period. And that said, I'm totally opposed to harming anyone. Have you been are you concerned about the war in Ukraine? And the countless innocents being murdered there every single day? I doubt you are. Probably Putin bad. I am. I'm a Christian. I hate violence. I hate mass shootings. I have guns at home and often on my person when I'm in the United States, I'm proud to say, because I want to defend myself and those I love against violence. That's the point. I'm not perpetrating crimes. I'm not shooting strangers. I'm defending what I love. And if you're against that, I guess I would ask why. Why would you be against that?
Well, so you don't think you harbor any kind of responsibility for these hate crimes?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to be charitable. I was like, maybe you're just pretending to be dumb. Now I don't think it's an act.
This is worse than being dumb. All right, this reporter clearly isn't dumb. She is articulate, she is intelligent, but she is trying to move the goalposts and try to trap Tucker with a ridiculous question based on an even more ridiculous premise. So this isn't a dumb person. This is a person whose mental ceiling is about 105 IQ. Clearly smart enough to function in the world, not smart enough to take her convictions further. She has sold off the good part of her brain in order to pander to her side. In other words, there is a mass psychosis on the left, and I'll get to the one on the right in a moment. But there's a mass psychosis on the left and in liberal spheres to support the current thing. What used to be, this is how it used to work. Everyone would clap, and then they would go home and think, that's kind of dumb, I don't believe that. Now it's they clap, and they have to believe it, because if you're exposed for even a second, you are kicked out of your local sphere. I've known people who have stood up against certain topics in left-wing circles, and the moment they get kicked out, they come over to the right, they're immediately welcomed with open arms, and they go, you know what? I have believed in something that is factually untrue. Y'all have been telling me for years that I was believing in something that was factually incorrect. And I finally recognized that y'all were right. Y'all, times are rough. Record inflation is still not under control. We have a president who doesn't know what planet he's on. And the Federal Reserve continues to make dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision. You can gamble on Wall Street all you want, but if you want to diversify and protect your wealth, you need to look into my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. These amazing experts understand how to keep your wealth safe and protected from the volatility of our current market. And there's even a great deal for first-time accounts. Free gold and silver-backed IRA accounts, insurance on whatever precious metals you happen to buy for 5 years, up to $7,500 worth of silver, and a nice safe for you to keep all this good stuff in. So go take a look at their website, link in the description below, or call the phone number below so you can talk personally to Paul Stone, CEO, and his amazing team of experts to protect your wealth today. I have had people who have had that in their lives. They are much happier now in better friend groups who actually support them and are okay with deviance from what is the current norm. They're okay with that because truly smart people aren't just well-read. No. Truly smart people are those who know how to live and let live. This woman can't. And there's another big problem that's going on. This is in Australia, right? The Hyatt Hotel in Canberra, which is their capital, smack dab in between Sydney and Melbourne. I have been to Australia. Good people. Basically British rednecks, for lack of a better term. And y'all, Queensland is beautiful. And so is New South Wales. Australia is a unique nation continent full of vibrant people with a very weird and borderline draconian government. This government censors speech or does not allow you to carry firearms. It's very weird down there because it's when I visited, it was basically East Tennessee next to the ocean. Very pretty. But they keep on voting for just weirder and weirder governments. And this is probably the real issue with parliamentary politics. It's why I'm so glad that we do our system completely differently here. Parliamentary politics is the rule of majority, usually through coalitions. Unfortunately, this rule of majority has very poor checks and balances. This is, as a matter of fact, the whole reason America broke away from Great Britain. They were not treating us colonists well. They refused to allow us voting rights when we considered ourselves to be British citizens, and it ticked us off so much that we finally just said, you know what, screw it, we're going to fight for our independence. Australia, on the other hand, seems to like the boot. It's very weird for a people who used to be incredibly independent. It's a massive nation with a small amount of people, and it's just scattered around a handful of areas, mainly on the coast because it is so hard to live in their rough interior. It's a borderline Sahara-like desert out there. Okay, not that bad. It's closer to the deserts we have here in the United States. But they, for some reason, like their government. They like the fact that their government can abuse basic rights. And over here, we do get some things wrong. Our crime rate is still awful. Our people still do dumb things. But we are free in the United States to make those decisions. The Aussies, not so much. It's a very weird dichotomy, and I think it comes down to the fact of the two problems. One, the quite literal psychosis of left-wing politicians and usually the dominant class. And if you deviate from anything that class is supposed to believe in as the norm, if you say, no, that doesn't track, they kick you out. Just no mercy, no attempt at redemption, you're out. And thus, mix that with parliamentary politics, and you can get a coalition that will just ride roughshod over your basic freedoms. I do not want that here in the United States. I am so glad that 1776 occurred, that 13 colonies had the guts to look at Great Britain and say, you know what, you suck. We're going to do things better. And we have. That's what makes America so awesome. We are both free, and we constantly ask, how can we do better? That is the two questions that should be at the forefront. That is the question that needs to be at the forefront of every patriot across America. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed this segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.